So, this morning's service is all about time and the importance of embracing each and every moment. Living in the moment, you may often hear it called, but what does that mean? To live in the moment? Is it about meditating to achieve mindfulness? Is it about letting go of your worries and concerns? Is it about not being distracted by a bleeping GoPro? Is it about not allowing your mind to wander and forcing yourself to be present in the moment? I'd like to read you a short story about someone who was trying to answer this very question. They sat in a lotus position, facing out over the courtyard of their sanctuary. Their eyes were closed as they tried to meditate and be present. But the sounds of the courtyard below and the kids that came to visit the sanctuary annoyed them. They simply found it impossible to be mindful with all of this noise. So they got up, made their way to their master. The master was in the courtyard teaching the children from a nearby town all about meditation, and much to their surprise, all the children were listening attentively. They waited for the class to be over and then stepped up to the master. Master, why can't I seem to experience this presence of mind you were talking about the other day? Why can't I seem to be more present? They asked. The master smiled. Why do you think you aren't living in the present moment? The master asked. They looked around, trying to think of a reasonable answer. Well, I can't seem to be more present because I keep on noticing my mind wander away in thought. Besides, all the noises of the children in the courtyard were disturbing my peace. That's why I can't be more present, they answered. The master looked away and observed one of the children running around in the field, playing with the grass and dancing joyously. Do you see that child? The master asked softly. Of course I do, they answered, unsure of what the master was trying to tell them. Does that child look mindful to you? In other words, is she living in the present moment? The master asked. Yes, she does. She seems happy and free, and after all, she is a child without a speck of worry on her mind, they replied. Then, why do you still think that you aren't living in the present moment? If even a child can do it, why can't you? The master asked. He didn't wait for an answer before continuing. You see, the child doesn't make a difference between being present and listening to her thoughts. She knows that both are happening at this very moment. If she wanders away in her imagination or thoughts, she doesn't say to herself that she shouldn't, that she isn't living mindfully. The child knows perfectly well that nothing can happen outside of the present moment, not even thoughts or imagination. The master looked at them and saw a slight smile on their face. My friend, you've been making such a big deal out of living in the present moment that you forgot what it is really all about. To pay attention. That's what the child does best. She pays attention to everything, and she marvels over everything. That's all you can do to live in the present moment, the master said. They smiled. Thank you, master, they said, while bowing in appreciation of the wisdom that had just been imparted to them. I didn't do anything. It was you who came to me. So go on and pay attention. Be as free as that child and live as joyous as her. It's all you can do as a human being. So it's quite a nice little story there, demonstrating that while we all may think we know what living in the moment is or how to do it, we can often overthink and overcomplicate it. Now I'd like to invite you to join in with our next hymn, or again, just listen and follow along with the words if you wish, from our purple hymn books, which is number 79, and it's called In This Time on Earth We're Given. So, As we all begin the process of ramping back up to normal life after the festivities and celebrations of the Christmas and New Year period, I happen to think it's as good a time as any to take a moment to reflect. Reflect on all that has happened in our lives as the Earth begins yet another orbit around her nearest star, the Sun. One of the most certain and inevitable actions that we know of in the universe. But like all things, the Earth's ancient journey around her warm and life-giving chalice will too, one day, come to an end. What do you suppose she will say on the day she takes in her final glimpse of the morning sunrise? What will she think as she basks in the sun's warmth for the very last time? As the sun sets below her horizon for the last time, billions of years from now, will she look back with regret at the things that she didn't do? Will she think about the photos that she didn't take and upload to Facebook and Instagram, and the likes and comments she missed out on? Will she spend her final moments worrying about what's to come next? Or will she think fondly of all the moments of joy and bliss that she has been a home to for what will then have been more than 7 billion years? The truth is, it's impossible to know. For humans and perhaps all other life on Earth by that point will have long vanished by the time the Earth herself reunites with her creator. But I'd like to ask you to pause for a while and think about your own journey around the sun. With each seemingly ever quicker orbit that we all complete, they lay behind it a series of moments. Moments to cherish, and yes, some moments to forget. Now, I firmly believe that as humans, one of the best things that we're good at is in fact nostalgia. So much so that if it were an Olympic sport, we'd all be prime candidates for a gold medal. How easy it is for us to get caught up in those positive moments, lose ourselves, only coming to enjoy them after they've happened. But by that point, it's too late. Our memories and recollections are always skewed by how we want to remember them. Like the stories we tell people of exploits, both past and present, that we add our own little embellishments to make them seem more, or sometimes less, than what they actually were. How many of us can truly say that we take in each and every moment when we're in it? How many of us can honestly say that at a time of pure and unequivocal joy, we really stopped to take it all in? How miraculous it is that we even exist, living atop a floating ball of rock in the unimaginably hostile and infinite void of space. And how beautiful it is that our journeys around the sun are punctuated by so many moments of joy, happiness, love, and wonder. You see, my fear is that no one ever really takes the time to appreciate these moments, to bask in their warmth and to see their beauty, to feel the impact that they have on our lives and our futures. So my task for you, my homework for you, or church work for you this morning, is to write down on the post-its next to you a moment in your life that you know you didn't fully appreciate while you were in it. Now, I know for me, and it's the inspiration behind this morning's service, it would be my wedding. Everyone in the run-up to our wedding was telling me and my wife to just enjoy the day. Make sure you take a minute to take it all in, because the day will go by so quickly, everybody said. And I'm sure my wife can attest to that. And as I shared with you last week, I failed miserably at following their advice. As I waited at the top of the aisle, waiting for my wife to make her way down to me, not only was I overcome with the nerves and excitement that are, as I can only imagine, totally natural for somebody who's about to tie the knot, but I was already thinking ahead to the next part of the day, thinking about whether the food was going to be served correctly, worrying about making sure we got all the photos of friends and family that we wanted to. Rather than soaking myself in the atmosphere of the life-changing moment that I was in, I was too busy focusing on the future, which is always, no matter how hard we try, completely and utterly outside of our control. And this is one of the reasons why I recently decided to take a step away from social media. Rather than enjoying the moments that I spend with friends and family, there's always that niggling voice in the back of my head telling me to take a photo and share it to my social network, to show them all just how great and brilliant my life is. And somehow, that thought in my head tells me if I'm not documenting my life and living it through the lens of my iPhone camera, I'm not really doing it. So that was a song called Gone Too Soon by Michael Jackson, and I picked that song not only because it happens to be one of my absolute favourite songs, and I happen to be quite a big Michael Jackson fan, but because the lyrics have always felt quite poignant to me. He sings about some of the most mundane and everyday things: a sandcastle, a sunset, a flower. And we can all experience these things in abundance whenever we want to. Our lives are full of sandcastles, sunsets and flowers, coffees with friends, meals out with family, nights in with someone special watching traffic cops or scrolling through social media. But the point I believe that he's making in the song is that sandcastle, that sunset, and that flower will only ever be there in that moment once. That coffee with friends, that meal out with family, that night in with someone special watching traffic cops and scrolling through social media. Before you know it, they're gone. So take them in. Enjoy and appreciate them while they're there and in the moment. Live in the moment. When I was writing the service, I came across so many inspirational words from various different sources talking about time and living in the moment, which was both a blessing and a curse. It certainly made my life easier when I was writing the service, as I had so much content to choose from, but it also dashed any hopes I had of delivering a truly groundbreaking service, as it seems everyone at some point has had at least something to say about this topic. But the following words from a Tian Buddhist monk and founder of the Plum Village tradition, Thich Nhat Hanh, really caught my attention, and he said this. He said, "Life is available only in the present moment. If you abandon the present moment, you cannot live the moments of your daily life deeply." Let us pray, meditate, or reflect together. Father, Mother, Creator, world, me, you. In these busy lives of ours, full of distractions and things vying for our attention, may we find the strength to resist. May we instead allow ourselves time to stop, to pause, to reflect, to take in all that is around us and enjoy each moment that punctuates our lives. May we also find the courage to help those around us for whom moments of joy and happiness are often overshadowed by feelings of hopelessness and despair. And may we help them to find peace and remind them of the light that surely is at the end of their tunnel. May each and every one of us continue on our journey around the sun in a way that encourages others, supports them, loves and respects them. Amen. So before we sing our final hymn of the morning, I'd just like to check to see if there are any notices that we need to announce. Just to say as well, as always, after the service, please do join us for some light refreshments. There's always an abundance of beige goodies and sweet treats, as well as tea and coffee. You're laughing, but it's true.
True, it is true.
And also, if you would like to put something into one of our collection trays here at the front, really any amount would be humbly appreciated, although I have to stress, please do not feel obliged. The donation of your time here this morning is more than enough. So, as we come to the end of our time together this morning, let me extinguish our chalice. And although its light and warmth fades, it does not disappear into nothing. Its smoke becomes one with the air, and its smell stays with us long after its light and warmth have vanished. Whoever you are, whatever brought you here this morning, go in peace. And remember to take in each and every moment of this precious, delicate, short, and yes, often crazy thing we call life. And as is the tradition of our congregation here, let us finish our service this morning with the words of God Be in My Head, which you'll find number 307 in your green books. But you can, if you wish, substitute the word God for love, or another word that you feel more appropriate for you. I'll just let people get to the pages if they need it. 307.